next.
OK. I am in an ongoing feud with a cat who walked 100 miles to torment me.
David's team.
Oh! Whose is the cat?
It doesn't belong to anyone. It's feral. The cat is essentially a criminal, in my eyes. He attacks my cats. He breaks into my house.
He breaks it? How do you mean breaks into your house?
Is anyone going to do the cat burglar joke, or we're letting it go? I don't mind, I'll hand it over if anyone wants it. Anyone want it?
When you say breaks into your house, do you mean
it's a cat
he just walks in?
Get rid of the first bit,
Yeah, how does it get in?
First of all, he just walked in through the cat flap because I have my own cat.
Right, that's not breaking in. You cannot blame a cat for walking through a cat flap.
I now have a more advanced cat flap, which doesn't quite stop him 100% of the time.
What is the new cat flap technique? Is it a chip cat flap?
Yes.
So you've chipped your two cats with a chip cat flap, but the feral cat sometimes
Are you Dr. Zeus?
What he does is the batteries in the cat flap only last 6 weeks. So he systematically tests the cat flap to see when the batteries have been exhausted, and then when they run out, it releases completely, and then he can gain access.
Does he sit on the outside looking at other cats going, I can wait?
So what does the cat do once it gains access?
He beats up my cats, he eats their food, and then he sleeps in their bed.
No. So is it like a sort of violent Goldilocks?
This 100, you said 100 miles.
Yes, I did.
Yes, I did!
Talk a little bit more about that.
I called the RSPCA to get rid of the cat. They refused to come out, but they did supply me with a trap. I trapped it, caught it, took it to the local vet. They then said, we'll release it.
Oh, right.
I said, you can't release it near my house because it will just come right back.
Right.
And that's when they said, yep, we'll get the RSPCA to take it to a cat sanctuary 100 miles away.
No.
Up in the sky. No.
I don't think the RSPCA would allow that.
What would allow it to be taken away to a cat sanctuary?
Taken away from its family.
But that's the point, it's not its family.
Friends.
How do you know it's not got a family? So you don't.
I do. If it does have a family, it doesn't like them very much because it lives with me.
They could be worried sick.
The vet says the RSPCA will take this 100 miles away to a sanctuary.
Yeah, give or take.
What happens then?
Well, I have probably 6 weeks of bliss of no feral cat interfering with my cats.
So then what happened?
I was quite sad that Mark Dennis was no longer around.
Who?
Mark Dennis.
Who is Mark Dennis?
Mark Dennis is the cat.
And why Mark Dennis?
So bad you named him twice.
Because the cat was a black cat. He was a dark menace, but I didn't want to, paint him with that brush, so I decided to soften it a little bit and call him Mark Dennis.
And then what happened?
He found his way back.
From 100 miles away.
Do you know for a fact they took him 100 miles away? They might, because that sounded unlikely.
No, I believe them, though, because I kept in touch with them. I was worried about the cat, because when I had taken it in, the last few times when it had burgled my house, it had, had a slight infection in its lungs, and it would snore loudly at night, like a fully grown man would snore.
You would hear it snoring in the garden?
In my kitchen.
Oh, you break into the kitchen, beat up your cats, eat all the food, and then have a really loud sleep.
Right.
When you put it like that, it sounds ridiculous.
So describe, if you can, the moment when Mark Dennis returned, because it must have been quite dramatic.
His face!
Because it must have been quite dramatic.
And noisy.
Sorry, you're taking me back.
Yeah.
Oh
my God.
Again, it was the snoring. I thought it can't be Mark Dennis because he's 100 miles away.
What is going on with his face? I don't know if he's about to cry or he's suppressing laughter or what's going on, but this is amazing.
Mark Dennis because he's 100 miles away.
What is that?
I went down and then he did the usual thing. He ran for the cat flap and ran into the garden.
Diane, what are you thinking?
Well, at first I didn't believe when he said the RSPCA drove it 100 miles. But then he's naming it, and it's got a lung infection.
Yeah.
Yeah, the name is the... I mean,
Name,
it's a
yeah.
good name to come up
Dennis.
with, Mark Dennis.
It's adorable. I just want to say, I'm sorry, lady, that I interrupted. I just want to say, first of all, I believe it because, I mean, the facts are, like, they're piling up. Like, he held this story very, very, very well. It was a great story if it was a lie. And second, I just want to say, when I was a kid, we used to move around a lot because we'd get evicted a lot. Anyway, yeah, we moved around like a ton. And it was always more or less in the same neighborhood or whatever, but, you know, sometimes it's further than others. And we had a cat that would come with us everywhere. And one of the places we lived when I was really young, the cat was allowed. We lived on, like, the ground floor, so we had a balcony on the ground floor, and you know, the cat would just, like, hop the fence and just... He was allowed to, like, roam around and do as he pleased. He would always come back, you know? And one time we moved to an area, and he didn't have that freedom. We were on, like, a second floor, so the balcony was closed and stuff. And somehow, that little guy escaped. Also, we took him from one house to the next in a car, like in one of those, you know, cat carrier things, in the back seat of a car. Drove from one place to the next, which was, I don't know, 5 minutes away, 10 minutes away. I have no idea. I was young. And he managed to escape somehow from the new house, like after living there for a few days. He managed to escape, and we couldn't find him. We lost him for like several days. And then my mom thought, you know what? He might have went back home where he thought was home. And she went with, you know, kibble and just kind of shaking friskies or whatever. And he was there. That little guy found his way home. Well, he found his way back home alone. He crossed like streets, like main streets. He crossed under a freeway, like the underpass, the bridge, the street that goes under the freeway bridge. I don't know what, but he crossed all kinds of, you know, heavy duty things for a cat to cross, and he was there unharmed, just chilling in that balcony. That wasn't ours anymore. So I totally believe that. I don't know how they do it, but their sense of direction is amazing. They cannot handle up and down, though. I live in a building where it's 7 floors, and each floor is like the hallway is exactly the same. You got the 3 doors, there's 3 different apartment doors, and you got the spiral staircase, but every floor is the same. And when we brought that cat to Argentina, by the way. And when he was here and he would escape from this house, he would run out. He'd get lost. He would get disoriented and wouldn't know what floor he was on. So he was always like begging neighbors that were on this side. He knew we lived on this side of the hallway, but he was always at doors that were not even close to ours. We even found him like on the 7th floor once, just scared because he couldn't find his way home. So cats don't do this very well. They don't orient this way, but this way they orient like mofos.
Yeah, the name is the... I mean, it's a good name to come up with, Mark Dennis. Dark Menace.
I think it's true.
I think it's true.
True.
So you're going to say true?
So we're going to say true.
OK. Rory,
I dropped my pen.
Was it true or was it a lie?
Please be true.
Well, it was very true.
Yeah. Awesome.
next round is called This Is...
It had to be. It had to be true because it was just he had. If he was even getting emotion at all, if he named it and was worried about it and stuff, I don't know why he didn't just adopt it. I mean, I get that it didn't get along with his cats, but he was genuinely worried, which was cute. So, yeah. Did nobody ask what happened later? What did he keep the cat? I want to know.